You've got questions?
We've got answers.
Tune in Tuesdays at noon on Facebook Live and Insta Live, where we will be hosting a variety of subjects with our community experts.
If you've been struggling to navigate the modern dating world, you are not alone. I'm coming to answer all of your pressing dating and relationship questions, and I can't wait to meet you all.
See, we are live, so I'm going to jump right in. Hi. Hi, everyone. It's Jillian.
And Michelle.
And welcome to Tip Tuesday. Today is going to be a lot of fun. We are going to be speaking with Julianne Cantarella, this beautiful lady up in that little box over there. She is a dating coach, a licensed social worker, and a wealth of information. Like, we're so excited to pick our brains. So she is here to help our dating tribe figure it all out on a subject that actually is very sensitive in the breast cancer community. So please jump in with your comments, your questions, and we are going to get started. But first, Michelle, do we have any housekeeping to do?
Do we have any housekeeping, Jill? Of course we do.
Always, right?
Most importantly, what I would like to reference is our website. On the Beautiful Self website, we have a subject called Outreach and Resources. And if you go to that, you will find Julianne's page where it has her bio and then also her video to our community, and then her 10 Commandments of Dating, which is a free guide and resource. And we would love it if you checked out all of our resources through our outreach that you have seen on our Tip Tuesday at noon. So, Jill, our website is ready for everyone to experience.
I love it. Well, are we ready, Michelle?
I think we're ready.
Okay.
Let's
ask
Julianne.
Hi, Julianne.
Hi, ladies. How are you?
We're really
My
good.
pleasure.
Thank you so much for joining us today. We were so thrilled when you reached out. I mean, you know, this is a subject that is, it's a little tricky for us. So I got a lot of questions to ask you, but if you could just tell us in general to kick us off a little bit about what you do, who you are, what you do.
Sure. So for the last 30 years, I've been helping people with their relationships. The first part of my career was spent as a social worker therapist, helping people with their relationships. And then in 2005, a unique opportunity arose, and that's when I became a professional dating coach, matchmaker, relationship expert. I worked for a small startup matchmaking company in Manhattan. And a passion was born. I was doing matchmaking and date coaching, but it became very evident to me quickly that my passion and, quite frankly, my purpose in life is to help women by empowering them to make great, healthy choices when it comes to dating and relationships, and help them navigate the dating world, because there's a lot of noise out there. There are a lot of people who call themselves experts. And they haven't really had that background that I do, the experience that I have. And so now today, I help women, empower them through coaching to create healthy, loving relationships. And kind of what sets me apart in some way is that, as I say, I don't only talk the talk, I walk the walk. I've been with the love of my life for 29 years. Married 24. So awesome. I kind of know what it's like to have
That's awesome.
It is. And you know, I don't take it for granted. I do know that I'm very blessed, but I do know what it's like to have a relationship and navigate those really difficult experiences in life. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of
well, you're an expert. And I'm happy, and I love that you're an expert because what you said is so correct. In so many fields now, because somebody has a phone, they're hanging up a shingle and they're like, I'm an expert. And that's especially in the dating world. And the fact that you're a licensed social worker, I mean, these are dangerous things to just go out and say to people, I'm an expert in. So
right.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I'm I'm working towards the next level of my coaching as well. I'm actually in class right, as we speak in the evening. I'm taking my coaching classes to, level up, because it's all about the clients for me and really steering them in the right direction. And I know that it's possible to have a loving relationship. I mean, I have a lot of successes to my credit. Like I said, I've been doing this for 15 years, and I've just seen how women can transform and create those relationships.
Yeah, well, let's dig in, because I have some very specific questions for you because of the needs in our community. Okay.
Yes.
So first of all, breast cancer can be probably one of the most damaging cancers to the feminine psyche, mentally, socially, physically, all of it. And if a survivor is just starting to think about getting back out there, but they're nervous about it, they're nervous about getting back out there, what advice would you give, especially, I mean, anybody, but especially a survivor, to dip their toe back in the water? And where is a good place to meet people that you feel safe in this environment?
So to answer the first part, I would tell you that the same rules apply to everyone, to every woman. No matter what your situation, don't throw out your rules. Don't throw out your expectations. Be mindful of the type of partner you want to meet, regardless of your situation, right? I mean, clearly having breast cancer, surviving breast cancer just adds an extra layer to an already difficult situation. I mean, the women I work with, and I have worked with survivors of breast cancer, that you're feeling vulnerable, you're feeling exposed when you're putting yourself out there and dating. Be mindful of that as you navigate through that. The idea of dating is to get to know someone. Very often people think, oh, I met someone, he's my soulmate, like right out of the gate. And you have to pace yourself. And Jillian, this is for anybody who's dating. And I see this time and the patterns don't change just because someone has a situation going on. So if you're getting back out there, pace yourself, make sure that you are, right out of the gate, the person, you're not saying, oh, that's my soulmate, or, you're not looking to create this fiery relationship. You have to take things slowly. You have to get to know someone to determine if their goals, their values, their relationship vision aligns with yours. And if they value you, you have to feel valued in order to make sure that the relationship is worthwhile.
Absolutely.
And as for places to meet someone, I know obviously we all know we're in COVID, but volunteering is a great way to meet someone. You typically meet someone who's like-minded, right? You're going to volunteer, you're going to meet someone who's like-minded. You're both working towards or volunteering for a similar purpose. There are meetups that you can join tailored to your interests, from wine tasting to skiing to you name it, they're out there to join. So you can look meetup.com, you log on, it's online, and you put in an interest that you have. And very often there are groups around it, and you can join and hopefully meet someone that way.
I love that.
Say sometimes it's a little top heavy with women, the groups, but don't discount a friendship could lead to someone who they know that could be a great match for you. So don't ever discount that.
Right. Or if your preference is your same gender, it's all great. It's all meetup, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's great.
So, and thank you for saying that.
Yeah, of course.
And then of course there's online dating, and I use that as a tool for my clients within my program. Some people are like, oh, I don't want to try online dating, but I'll share I have a 93% success rate of the women I work with end up with significant others, loves of their life from online dating.
I love it.
Online dating, it's, as I say, it's not the tool, right? It's not online dating that's difficult. it's the user. So it depends on it.
Okay, that's fair.
It is fair. I've been doing this long enough, and my program is developed that, you know, we don't just throw something at the wall and hope it sticks online, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm very, it's a very comprehensive program that I have, and we do use online dating, and mm-hmm. very often it's about the marketing that you put out online. It's who you're going to call in, right? So I've worked with women who have used online dating, threw up, you know, a picture half of their face, or it's like 15 people, who is in that, and the response they get is lackluster. Then they work with me, and I'll share with you. Is it all right if I explain?
Yeah, I want to ask you your programming
Sure,
and stuff at the end.
Sure.
Because I have some questions that I have to get through because they're important for us. So
yeah. I have a question. I do have a question though.
Sure.
When you're doing a profile on a online dating site and you are a survivor or a stage 4 fighter of breast cancer, is that something that you would necessarily put out there initially?
Okay. That is a fantastic question, and it's really, really important. No, right? You're not going to put everything about you out online or when you meet someone initially, right? There's a couple of reasons. Number one, you don't know who you are meeting. You know, nothing sinister going on here. It's just a matter of what they're capable of dealing with. Right? So if you hit them over the head with, I have breast cancer, and they may say, lack of knowledge. What does that mean? How can this impact me? What does this mean long term? So they're not necessarily going to say, if they don't have those pieces filled in, ooh, sign me up for that. They're going to say, oh, let me run away from this. So there's this other piece that, like, as women, I see it all the time. We think that person can read my mind. That person knows that everything that's happening in my life, they know it. So I better throw it all out there before I'm interpreted as disingenuous or I'm lying. That's not what's happening, right? So just keep in mind that no one can read your mind. And that also goes to communication in a relationship. But you don't have to shine a huge light on something that someone's probably not even thinking, right? In when you're growing any relationship, you need to get to know someone before you have a conversation about your baggage, right? You're not going to come up and go, boom, here it all is. So you're going to take time, you're going to get to know them, and then you'll slowly start to reveal bits of information of who you are.
What would you say? I want to, because Michelle, that was a great question. It's kind of led me into this where I wanted to go is you're on a date, you're on a first date, say even, or a second date. And as survivors, a lot of issues come with treatment, right? So we can get hot flashes that we just melt in front of you. Or maybe, you know, the hair has grown back and you're a long-haired girl, but at this point it's short and it's little curls and you don't like it. And you're in the middle of a nice dinner and all of a sudden you're just sweating and, you know, it's just the sweat's just pouring off you. So these little nuances that we feel make us not us, right? Do you bring that up on a first date? Like, for instance, oh, I'm sorry. You know, I'm sorry, I'm sweating. It's obvious you see I'm sweating. I take meds, it's hot flashes. Or, you know, my hair doesn't normally look like this. On a date, when you feel subconscious or things happen, what do you say? How to address them?
Yeah, so I'm hearing you say that. And what I'm hearing is there a possibility you're setting yourself up for the idea that everybody can see what's happening?
Yes, of course. That's what we think.
Yeah, exactly. It goes back to mindset, right? So when I work with my clients, we talk about mindset, especially as a coach. And if you're focusing on that so much and worrying about that, and again, shining the light on the possibility of that happening, there's a great chance that's going to happen. Very often, like you use the example of, you know, the hair. You're a long hair girl. If a man's sitting across from you, or you're in a situation where you're sitting across someone in a romantic situation, and they're there with you, they're not going to be they're there with you because they're attracted to you. They're not going to be saying, what's going on with your hair? Like,
Right.
they're there already because they are attracted to you. And you don't want to shine this huge light on, this is my situation. And when I've worked with survivors, typically what I find is, from this experience, there is a few things that happen. There's a wisdom that comes out of this experience. There's a courage that comes out of this. And there's a confidence, right? And a strength that comes out of that. When you're on a date, I'm going to ask you to lean into that. Lean into that wisdom that you've learned, the strength you've gotten from this, and the courage that you have. And try to be mindful of that as you're moving through. No one's showing up to make you feel uncomfortable. They want to potentially learn about you and have a relationship with you. If a situation happens and you're sweating and you want to say, oh, you can make it up even. You're not being disingenuous. It's just not information someone needs on a first, second, or third date.
Okay. That's really fair. That's really fair. And, obviously when we start dating someone, this could be general, but I think especially for breast cancer survivors, because having someone that is very sensitive to our needs is important, and would you say, are there any warning signs if you're going on 2 or 3 dates, and any warning signs that you're like, I think this guy's great, but actually he might not be great for you, and we're not seeing because we don't want to see? Are there warning signs that we're missing?
Yeah, I would say typically women love to reframe. Right? We love to make excuses. We love to reframe, especially if there's that physical connection, or that you find them so attractive. Mm-hmm. That's where the danger happens. I think you need to be true to yourself. You need to be honest. And if someone doesn't make you feel good about yourself, or you're having a visceral response as you're sitting across from them that's negative, tap into that, trust it. Because if it's not that person sitting across from you, I promise you, there will be somebody else that's a better fit for you.
You're right. And I think we tend to I remember, I've been married 20 years now, very blessed, but oh my God, was I a train wreck. Michelle will tell you before. Look at her laughing. Because I constantly tried to fit myself into their mold. Right. It was way before illness. I was a young woman. Right. And I can't, and I think that is something that the warning signs are right there, right? Like if you're trying to change yourself, if I was dating a guy, and he didn't drink, I'd be like, I don't drink. I won't have a drink either. But I like a good drink. Like I like to have a glass of wine. Yeah. That's not my problem. Right. So I had a lot of problems. That's not one of them. So my thought being, is it a warning sign immediately for ourselves if we start changing our behaviors and make excuses for it?
Well, yeah, and I'm thinking at 1, 2, 3 dates. It's what, an hour and a half at a clip. You really, like, this is a stranger. They're strangers until they're not, right? So if you're finding that you're bending yourself into a pretzel in order to accommodate someone, or be with them, or be attractive to them, then we know that that's not where you need to be. You don't need to change the essence of who you are to keep someone interested. If they're interested in you, honey, you will know. There will be no question. They'll be calling you. They'll be showing up. They'll be making plans in advance. All of that.
Okay, which leads me to, I think it's a bigger question. It's probably down the road, depending on your personality. So let's say we get past however many dates it is before you get in bed with someone. That's on, like, whatever anybody chooses. And, that conversation comes up. We are dealing with, if we struggle, like, thinking about we're being judged by the small stuff, how do you take someone that you've been building up to this moment and say to them, I have no breasts, sex hurts, I have no nipples, sorry, don't touch me there, I have no feeling. All these tough subjects. Is it better to have it sooner or later? Like, what is there ever a good time to go in with these big real life conversations? Is it 3 dates, 4 dates, 5 dates? It's that you know you're going to end up in bed with this person. When's a good time to have? Because that you don't want to be like surprise. You know, you want to, because that's jarring for someone if they're not ready.
Right. So let me first start by saying, I would encourage women who are dating to wait as long as possible. Now I know we're dealing with adults, and that there's that desire when you're attracted to someone, but I am going to tell you that you need to be able to be emotionally intimate with someone before you're physically intimate with someone. So you're going to know you can have that deep conversation with someone before you even get into bed with them, right? So the sexual intimacy should not come before the emotional intimacy. You need to have that connection with someone and feel safe with them, and that you're not going to be judged, or there's no shame attached to what's happened to you. The right person at the right time who you're emotionally intimate with and connected to, there's not going to be a problem around the sexual intimacy.
Okay, that's really great. That's a great answer.
That was a great answer.
It really was.
For everyone.
These talks to,
It's true. Actually, that's how I lead with all of my clients. And I tell them, wait as long as possible. You need to get to know this person.
Yeah.
Before I ask you about your programs,
sure,
are there any things, so say, you know, I listen, if I was single, you'd be the first person I call. I'm like, yes, I want to know everything. I want to know your secrets. I love everything you're saying. So if there's a person out there and they're like, all right, I'm a little shy to call you just yet, and they're kind of on their own and they're looking at stuff, are there any red flags for online dating? Like obvious red flags to look for?
You mean in a profile of somebody?
Yes.
All right. So that's kind of hard because there.
Sorry, and I threw that at you.
No. Please don't. Please don't. I have seen more people look for red flags, find red flags, turn people. Do you know that I've pulled over the time that I've been doing this 10 husbands and long-term partners out of the trash on the dating sites for my clients?
Wow.
Because I go 10 marriages, committed relationships to my credit that I pulled out of the trash on the sites. Why? Because people look at a profile and they say, not attractive enough, not this enough, not that enough. And they don't give someone a chance, right? Mm-hmm. So what I would tell you is, that I would tell any one of my clients is, be open to the possibility. Have an email exchange, and if you can, get to the face-to-face, because the face-to-face is really where you're going to determine chemistry, compatibility, and if that person is a good fit for you. So like, I've had clients say delete, and I've gone in and say, why'd you delete this person?
Oh my God, you sound like my husband when I throw away broken furniture. He's like, I can fix that. You're not supposed to trash that yet. Very funny.
Well, I'm a stickler because I really want people to give. I mean, you know, I have women who are married to their soulmates now, who they put in the trash.
So
and didn't
funny.
give some, yeah. So that's why coaching can really be very helpful.
Oh yeah. Well, speaking about coaching, if you could tell us, and if anybody has any questions, please jump in the chat and send your questions. I see you're sending your love. If you have any questions, tell us what your programs entail and what they look like if somebody was interested in a dating coach. By the way, an expert with her license in social work. This is not just someone who says I'm an expert. You are an actual expert with a success rate in what you do. Your website is on our website. So I encourage everyone to go look. It's pretty amazing. So tell us a little bit about your programs.
Sure. So I actually offer one real program. It's 6 months long. It's called From First Date to Soulmate, because I take my clients from their first date right through to their soulmate. And when I launched my program back in 2009, I did my due diligence. I looked around, I saw what other coaches were doing. And what I saw was a huge gap, because people were going and they were learning skills and tools, But after they did that, they walked away and they said, okay, now what do I do with that information? So I said, how can I get my clients out in dating so I can coach them in real time? It didn't have to look far because online dating is a thing. So I said, how can I use online dating to my clients' advantage? So I did my due diligence and I said, I know what's needed to market. Now, when I was realizing that you had to market yourself online, I'll be very honest, I'll be very transparent. It made me feel uncomfortable. And it was like, went against everything I held holy as, a hopeless romantic. But after figuring this out, what I do for my clients is I have 3 photographers who work for me. So all of my clients get a photo shoot. It's 2.5 hours long. There are 4 wardrobe changes. I have an outline of what they shouldn't wear to the photo shoot, meaning, how to market themselves in the photos. I personally did a full study in body language. So I actually, and I come to every photo shoot. I'm there for as they move through the photo shoot because I know not everybody's comfortable in front of the camera. And I actually look in back of the camera. My 3 photographers are professional. This is what they do for a living. They've been with me since about 2010. But I like to make sure we're getting what we need for online dating, from the expression to the body language and all of that. I have a professional profile writer. I used to write all the profiles myself. I just don't have the time anymore. So she'll write the profile. And then I do an assessment of each client for 2 things. The first is to determine the site I put them on. So people understand that I don't just do that willy-nilly. I kind of do some comparatives and all of that and determine the type of person they are and the site I want to put them on, as well as any self-limiting beliefs, any negative patterns of behavior, anything I need to work with them on their mindset so that we can lay the foundation of them creating a healthy relationship. And then I get them up and running online and out in dating, and I work one-on-one with them. And I help them navigate the modern online dating experience. And I have weekly coaching sessions, and I offer something that no other coach offers, and it's unlimited texting support. So if they're walking into a date and they need a little love and coaching, I'm there. I'm available to them. So I really, I know the process is fluid, right? It ebbs and flows, and there's communication with people and not. And so I like to make myself available to my clients.
That's really great. I love that. Okay. And then kind of as we start, yes, here's her site.
Website. Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Everything's right there. Fantastic.
I love it.
Everything that you just discussed.
Yeah, and I just think this is the way of the world right now. I think that it's so great to have someone help you navigate this. It is a digital world, and we are in COVID, so we can't just go out and meet people. And I love the idea that you talked about in the beginning. Go where you want to meet. Go where you want to meet people. Like if you love horses, you might meet somebody volunteering for horses there. So I just think that's such brilliant advice. And for our tribe runs the ages, unfortunately, in their 20s, but all the way up to their 60s and 1 or 2 in their 70s. So if they're coming out of, because trauma, as you know, like breast cancer, it can lead to even more trauma, like divorce. It can lead to all these different things, massive life changes. So would you have any words of encouragement for everyone getting back out in the dating game?
Yeah, I mean, 100%, it is possible for you to meet a wonderful partner. I mean, it's not even a question in my mind. If you really want to make this a priority, I will tell you, you have to make it a priority. You can't dabble. You can't, hope maybe I will, maybe I won't. You have to make it a priority. You have to work towards it. But there are wonderful, wonderful, wonderful people out there who want to meet you. I can tell you that 100%.
That's wonderful. I love it. That's so great. I want everyone to please, if you have any comments, any questions, a lot of our tribe does tend to come in later, so we can always circle back. Fine. Okay, if there's any questions. And Michelle, anything else?
Not that I can think of, but I believe in December, we are going to be raffling off a 1-hour coaching session with Julianne.
Oh, we have to talk about that.
We'll keep you,
we'll
stay
come back
tuned for
on
that. That's a treat. That's a treat.
Isn't a set? I want to say that's like a $400 value for.
Yeah.
Okay.
It
Thank
is.
you. That's so generous of you. So
Very
I
generous.
want to get those
Yeah.
details. And am I allowed to enter them? Get out of here. No, I worship my husband. I just wish I had you back then. But you know what? For a lot of people, it's right now. There's no back then. It's right now. So they need somebody like you. And I think it's beautiful. I think having a dating coach is like anything else. It's like having somebody that can expertly guide you through your workout or expertly guide you
Or your
through
relationship.
Yeah, for
you
your
have that wealth of knowledge to tweak it, to make it better, to just keep constantly growing together.
I love it. And our tribe is more susceptible to having these feelings of doubt and trauma and feeling good about themselves and getting back out there with all these changes, which is really hard. So, Julianne, I can't thank you enough. This was so great. You're wonderful. You're beautiful. You're great. I certainly hope our girls reach out to you because, like I said, you are a wealth of information. So
thank you so much. And I just, I said, I just think you ladies are wonderful, really.
Thank you. Well, we love our tribe and we love you because you love our tribe, and we're all about empowering. And even though we're in COVID right now, we are really trying to keep up, really offer the virtual program that's going to help everyone and keep bringing them to healthier places and healing places. Why we're kind of a little on hiatus with our sessions since it's just not safe yet. And we want everybody to be safe and feel safe, but still know that we are here and a tribe for you and for each other. So having said that, I just want to say thank you so much. And in closing, we always want to remind you to stay strong.
Stay positive.
You are beautiful. And we'll see you next Tuesday. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Julianne. Thank you.
Thank you.